Hey guys, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel today, and welcome to my first ever episode of my new video podcast, what I've called the AwsmCast. That's the best name I could come up with. I'm sorry. That's, if you have a better one, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick with AwsmCast. Anyways, first episode, another notable thing is I've got a new camera. In comparison to my old video camera and my new one, things just look and feel so much better. Plus, I've got a new setup entirely. So this is the first time that you've actually seen my space. It's really small, actually. Not too bad in terms of, I think I've used the space pretty well. I've got two lights set up here. I've also got a table with all my equipment on it that I can actually probably leave set up permanently. I'm hoping. That's my hope. I want to have a space that I don't have to tear down and put up every time I want to make a video, because that's been one of the bottlenecks in the past of me actually getting out content. It's been really hard to tear down my stuff and take it back out and set it all up and take everything out of the closet and to do tutorials tech-wise or whatever. It's just been an absolutely huge pain to do that. I've also had to fight with my camera, but with my new camera, the video just looks so much cleaner. My old one, once you zoom into a certain point, it gets really grainy. So it's got like a 30 times optical zoom. It can really get close to things and still autofocus pretty well. But the problem is that the sensor can't really take that input. So it just comes out as static. You probably see that in some of my tutorials where I get really close to things that I'm working on. And so I didn't like the look of it, and I felt it was time to get a new camera. Plus, with the other BenVen stuff that I've got going on, I think it was just time to get a half-decent camera, which I think that this one is really, really nice. This is not something I've really played with before. I've used cameras like this. This is the EOS Rebel SL2, actually. I've played with cameras like this, but I've never owned one, and I'm really excited to finally own one because that means that I can add like depth back here. See how it's kind of a little bit blurry, but up here the autofocus is focusing on me, not that 10 to 15 feet behind me. So that's something that I really am getting used to still, that my old camera couldn't really do because it didn't have a proper lens. Like, I've got a macro adapter here I use for getting close, up close to like circuit boards and stuff that I'm soldering. So I'll actually be making really good use of that now, since I have a camera that can finally utilize it. Anyways, besides the camera stuff, new podcast. Wow. People have been wanting me to do this for quite a while. Actually, I've got my outline here of just things I want to talk about. This is really informal, but I'm just jumping right into it. I'm just going with it. People wanted this, and I'm going with it. So you guys asked for this. So anyways, as I've said, a lot of people have asked me to do a podcast for quite a while now, but I have always had bad feelings on them. I've just always had reservations about doing podcasts. So recently, someone in the comments on one of my videos suggested, hey, you should do more videos. I'd really like to watch them. And that kind of spoke to me for a second, because how the channel's grown lately, I'm starting to get a lot more comments like that where people are reaching out saying, hey, you should do more. And of course I've thought about that, it's crossed my mind, but I've never been able to reconcile some things that have been kind of a pain point for me, and I just wanted to use this time to talk about that. So you guys noticed the poll that I had put up asking about a week ago, do you guys want me to do more content, or do you want me to just keep doing what I'm doing? And I specifically said, like, you know, if I do a video podcast, I consider it minimal editing, just me talking to a camera. And that's not something that I've really been crazy about doing in the past. Of course, a lot of people on YouTube do it, but I always felt like I would be selling my soul a little bit to in doing that. And That's the part I haven't been able to reconcile, just because I feel like I always have to be editing something. I always have to make it perfect. I have to tweak every piece of it just to make it just right. And that's not always the best thing to do from a time perspective. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't get into programming that much anymore. Side story, back between middle school and high school, it was like a summer vacation between my 8th grade and 9th grade year where I got into Game Maker. Just a simple little drag and drop, make your own game kind of thing. I bought a book on it, started making games, and that eventually got me into a language called Dark Basic Professional. And then I decided that those weren't enough, so I started teaching myself C++. And I actually was able to do that over the course of a few years and some trial and error, putting the book down for a year or two, then picking it back up. I was able to finally do that. The problem is that I gained a lot of weight doing it, and just because I was sitting all the time whenever I went home at night, and I would have these horrible headaches because I was thinking so much about concepts I was trying to grasp and could barely understand. Eventually I did get them, but it was at a great cost. It also was a huge time sink. I lost a lot of time doing the C++ tutorials. One second. I just feel like video editing, if I'm not careful, can turn into another one of those things where I'm constantly watching my audio over here, making sure it's recording okay. I'm constantly just feeling like I need to perfect and tweak every little thing, and video editing, if I'm not careful, could become the new programming thing for me, where I would feel like I have to get the perfect product. Anyways, I'm straying from what I was talking about. Anyways, I had a realization, and it just kind of came to me. I realized that quality is not synonymous with enjoyability. That was kind of profound for me. And there's a lot of big channels doing podcasts, and they've been doing them for a long time, and their channels are huge. I mean, some people do only podcasts and just talk about stuff, talk to a camera, and they've got huge channels. And there, of course, are people who do podcasts right, and then there's people who do them very wrong. There's ones that are just garbage. I didn't want to turn into one of those channels that just kicks out garbage. You guys have seen my other content, and you know that it's of relatively high quality. I mean, I take a lot of time on making my videos, and so you know that I don't put out garbage just because. Once in a while, I've rendered a really quick video and thrown it up just because I felt bad that I hadn't posted anything in like 2 or 3 weeks. I did that a while ago with a quick little 2-minute video of me speed editing a image for an upcoming video. Has there been any other ones? I think that was the only one. I could be wrong, but I think that's the only one I've really done that with. And that was because of an idea that I was given by a now ex-girlfriend of mine. She wanted to see what I was doing that day, and I thought, hey, that'd be cool. I can show her what the image editing process is. Then that turned into, hey, I can show you guys what my image editing process looks like. And of course, I use a copyrighted audio track for the music in it, and so I can't draw any income from it, but it's not a really popular video anyways. Anyways, I just felt bad about that, and that reaffirmed the feelings of I just wasn't happy creating those kinds of quick little things. It just felt like a throwaway video. I mean, I'll still leave it up, but it just felt like I can do better than that. I can do better than this. And for some reason, podcasts have always felt that way to me. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but I've just always felt like I'd be selling myself short because I'm not doing this big, huge production where I set up my lights and I have my camera set up in 50 different ways. I make all these really complicated cuts to solder something, and then, hey, look, I'm wiring this thing up, and then I'm installing it in this unit, and I don't know. I just felt like if I wasn't doing that, then it wasn't worth doing. I don't know. It might not make sense to you guys, but that's how I reconciled it in my head. Just that I didn't feel it was worth doing. As my realization kind of evolved, I realized that the reason that a lot of people subscribe to someone, or they follow someone, whether it be on YouTube, on Instagram, on any social media platform, it's because they feel a sense of community, or they want to feel a sense of community, and that person may represent that. That seems to be how YouTube has gone, how just like there's 50 billion different artists out there, not really, there's millions of music artists out there, hundreds of thousands to millions, however many. And each of their styles is slightly different. And nowadays, it's kind of, the internet has made the music scene into, if you want to listen to funk and then pop and a little bit of this and a little bit of that and not this thing or that thing over here, you can. There's an artist who does that. I mean, I listen to a lot of synthwave, but not like the normal, like, dark kind of deep track synthwave like what the new retro wave channel puts out 95% of the time now. There's a few artists that I've kind of picked out from that I really like listening to, and the rest I just don't. In many ways, YouTube has become that, where there's someone doing something I like over here, and there's someone I like doing what they're doing over here. And everybody has their little things that they do. I mean, I do Game Boy modding, and I jump out of planes. What kind of random mix is that? But there's someone who does that, and some people like that. Some people like following that. And where am I in my outline? So yeah, I guess the takeaway that I had that made it just click, the light bulb go off in my head, was that people like feeling close to content creators, and they like the creators who put more of themselves out there, not hold themselves up in a little box. And I've always been pretty open about my life. It's just my videos are sporadic. My release schedule is just sporadic at best. I mean, sometimes I'll release a video every week. Sometimes, like this last week, I'll release 2 in the same week, given that one of those videos I was editing for like 4 weeks. But even so, I don't like being sporadic that way. And I don't like not releasing at least one video every week or every 2 weeks. I want to have something more concrete than that. Something to keep you guys coming back and wanting more, wanting to keep watching. And so that just kind of helped get the ball rolling. And like I said before, I'm just a huge perfectionist. So releasing my vlogs and my tutorials takes forever because of that. That's been really hard, trying to figure out my way around that, just because sometimes I'll stay up all night to finish a video, and I don't want to do that because I've got a full-time job, and I need to rest for that job so I can keep performing, so I can keep having that job. It's just been this weird power struggle where sometimes, some weeks, I feel like really editing all the time or filming a bunch of new videos, and then there's some weeks where I need to do some simpler stuff, but I burn myself out because I force myself to do the more complicated stuff, and I get really annoyed about that. I'm straying from my outline just all over the place. Like I'm all over the place, guys. Like I'm not even. No, actually, I'm about halfway through. Another thing that I wanted to touch on too is that me being a perfectionist, having a sporadic release schedule, and really struggling with formatting, with do I even do a podcast or things like that. That all has not only caused me to miss deadlines, but it's caused me to actually not release some content entirely. I mean, there are some videos that you guys have never seen, videos that I've never finished but wanted to. Like my Portland vlog from a year and a half ago. I went to Portland, Oregon to visit my sister and her husband, and I released one video of that. I released the one where I went and spent the evening in San Francisco. And you guys missed the part where I got to fly first class for the first time in my life, which was really cool. I was just given a first class seat for some reason because there was an opening. And then I got to explore Portland with my sister and with her husband when he was able to get off work and take along. That was so much fun. Part of the problem with that too is that I didn't feel like I had enough content to really make a great video. I could have made a good video, but I didn't feel like it was really great. That really, I struggled to get those videos out. I started to edit like the second one, and then I just quit because that was one of the times where I was getting burnt out and I needed to work on tutorials, and I didn't feel at that time that I could really keep putting out videos that weren't tutorials. I didn't have that big of a following yet, maybe a couple hundred people behind me, but that was really it. I didn't feel like it was really going to do a whole lot for me to release a vlog or 3. On the same topic as content that hasn't seen the light of day, I have a lot of content that I would like to do, that I have literally in a list on my phone that I've always wanted to do it, but it may not warrant doing a full video. But I could do it in a format like this, doing a podcast. So this is kind of exciting to me because I'm starting to see the numbers adding up. I'm starting to really see where I could take something like this. Who knows what you guys might see in the next podcast. I'm actually deciding between like 3 or 4 different ideas, but I wanted to make episode 1, this one, just at least talking about these things. Rewind, go back to what I was talking about. Like I said, rabbit trail. I see it, I go that way. I'm really trying to stick to my outline. I've had many people tell me that they don't necessarily want to see a product that is perfect. They just want to see a product that I enjoyed making and that they can enjoy watching. People watch media, whether it be TV or YouTube or anything else, movies, they go to the theater. People do those things because they want to have an escape. They want to get away from the daily grind, the daily things. They just want to, I don't know how to explain it. They want something different, something that they can't experience in the day, but someone else did. They want to see what that's like and maybe dream of when they someday could experience it, like skydiving, the stuff that I do. Relating to all of that, with people telling me that they don't necessarily want a perfect product, the big thing here is that I've never believed until recently that people actually enjoy watching what I produce, that people actually like it. Of course, there's the like bar underneath my videos, but I've never believed, like truly believed that people actually like it. I mean, I've figured that out now, as you can see. When I release a video, all of a sudden, an hour later, I'll have a couple hundred views on it because people wanted to watch it. People have been waiting for it. People comment saying, hey, I've been waiting for this. This is cool. That finally made it click for me. And it was just this light bulb that went off in my head. It was really a cool moment when that clicked. So that's why I'm doing this today. Yeah. So all in all, maybe doing podcasts isn't all that bad. Maybe I don't have to feel bad about doing them. I mean, maybe it's nice to get that change of pace. I mean, we'll see. I'm able to pretty freely just sit here and talk to the camera and not really worry about sticking to a script of some kind. I mean, I've got a 1.5 pages written here of just thoughts, just little things I want to touch on, and I've strayed all over the place when I've been going through this. So maybe that'll give a little deeper look into my mind, which actually brings me to my next point, is that this stuff, creating a community creates camaraderie. And creating camaraderie breeds growth of people with the same interests and like-mindedness. It brings them together, helps them feel close. It's just like you can pick and choose your music and what you want to listen to, what artists you want to have playing on your iPod. People use iPods still? I feel like everybody just sticks music on their phone nowadays. Do people use iPods still? I mean, I did my iPod tutorial a while back, adding an SD card to one, but pretty shortly after that, when I got my new car, because it has sync in it, which is the Bluetooth to phone thing, I just started sticking all my music on my phone, and I don't use my iPod anymore. Anyways, just realizing what this all means, the having that sense of community around me, or just us together. I don't think of myself as awesome. My name for my channel might literally be KyleAwsm, but I don't think of myself as all that in a bag of chips. I just don't, and that's not good thinking anyways. I don't ever want to get stuck on myself in that way. I just want to serve my peers, serve you guys, because that's who I am. That's really all that I want to do in this life. I just want to serve you guys. And so I don't think of myself as hot stuff, like up here, like looking down on you guys or anything. I think of myself as I'm right there with you. You guys are right there with me. I have people message me on Instagram. I don't even know your first name, but I've held conversations for days with some of these people. And it's funny to me just having that kind of community around me. So that's been exciting. And that's also contributed to me deciding to do podcasts. So all in all, maybe practicing not being a perfectionist by doing these podcasts will help me to get my other videos out quicker, more quickly, more easily, with less time perfecting things, less time tinkering with all the nuts and bolts. Maybe this will help break me of that. I don't know. It seems like it is kind of, because I can just sit here and talk, so I can see how this would be conducive to that way of thinking, or at least getting myself thinking in that new way. Kind of work that part out so I don't have to be as much of a perfectionist anymore. I want to bring videos and content to you guys. I don't necessarily want to miss deadlines anywhere near as much as I have in the past. I just want to keep bringing fresh new content and showing you guys more of my life and sharing these experiences with you guys. I mean, that's why you're here. You want to be, one, entertained. You want to get information about how to do a thing, and it just so happens that the things that I can teach how to do, you like those things. Sometimes you might not. There might be one or two that you don't, but everybody has their thing. My mentality and mindset isn't going to completely 100% match every one of my viewers, or any of my viewers at all. But you're here, I think, as far as I can tell, because you feel that we're of like-mindedness, we're of like interests, we have the same interests, more or less, and I could go all day talking about these things. Anyways, in conclusion, I just wanted to use this first podcast just to tell you guys about this new thing that I'm trying, seeing how it goes, and also sharing my thoughts on some of the history behind my thoughts in these things, and just my take on this. So I'm really excited because now the channel is growing at such an exponential rate. I am just about to cross over 2,000 subscribers, which is crazy to think, because it took the first 23 months to reach, actually it was less than 23 months, it was like 22 and a half, but it took 22 to 23 months to reach my first 1,000 subscribers. I've done that now in 4 months. Again, I've got my second 1,000 coming up here. Probably when this video is posted, I'll be over 2,000 subscribers. I imagine it'll keep growing at the rate it is. I don't think it will just stop in the days that I'll need to edit this, which actually I think editing this will probably take 4 or 5 hours or something. I don't think it'll be something too crazy. Anyways, yeah, I just hope that you guys have really enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed just sitting here talking. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Let me know any suggestions you have in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you guys if you have any recommendations on videos I should do in the future, any more podcasts that you want me to do, things you want to know about, or if you have questions about anything, let me know. I really want to hear from you guys and hear what you think about these things. So if you liked this video, please leave a like below and consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more content like this podcast in the future, or any of my tutorials or my vlogs or anything else. You all hang loose, stay awesome, and I'll see you in my next video. See you guys.